Getting to your next level, your next edge is one thing. Holding it without collapsing, without sabotaging, now that's another. It's like climbing a mountain and realizing the hardest part isn't the ascent. It's actually not falling off the peak. In today's video, we talk about what no one prepares you for: the emotional and energetic mastery required to stabilize your success. Because the moment that you expand your identity, your nervous system, and your habits, you will be tested. But you didn't come this far to self-abandon the minute that things start to stretch. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Jess Pinili, and you have made it to training 5 of my series Path to the Next Edge. If you are watching this, you're not playing with surface level goals anymore. You are here to anchor your highest identity. Subscribe if you haven't already to my channel and go binge the first 4 trainings if you've come late to the party. Now, let's get into the last training. Why does holding your next edge feel so hard? It's because expansion wakes up your old patterns, the upper limits, the fear of loss, and nervous system dysregulation. Suddenly, you're making more, you're creating more success, and you're doubting if you can even keep it. You've become more visible, and you're worried who's going to leave. And you're definitely in overflow, but you're checking to see if it's about to disappear. Let's begin the real work, because the breakthrough is not the transformation, the integration is. If you've been following this series, you've already expanded. You've seen your edges, and you've touched parts of your identity that you didn't even know was still running the show. But here's the question that separates the women who rise once and the women who rise again and again. Can you hold your new baseline long enough for your subconscious to actually believe it's who you truly are? And this is what today's video is about. We are not here to hype, we are here to reprogram. Your subconscious does not upgrade just because your life does. You can hit the income goal, have your biggest launch, get promoted, feel fully expressed for the first time in your life, and quantum leap into the next level. But what happens if your subconscious identity hasn't fully accepted that this is the new you, that this is the new normal? It will pull you back to your old emotional and energetic baseline. So what is this emotional baseline? Let's define it. It's what I described as your internal set point that your nervous system has decided is safe, familiar, and emotionally survivable. It's not logical, it's not aspirational, it's default mode you. It's the thoughts that you think without even noticing it, the emotions you allow yourself to feel and not feel, and the energetic standard you unconsciously hold for money, love, joy, impact, and peace. And whatever doesn't match that internal baseline, your subconscious is going to try and correct. That is why expansion can often feel like collapse, because your subconscious isn't actually resisting success. It's trying to get you back to what it knows when it comes to surviving. The problem is most women actually mistake baseline collapse for strategy error. They assume things like, something's off, I need to pivot, I should launch something new, maybe it was just a fluke, I have to work really hard to stay here. But in reality, they are not in a strategy crisis. They're in an identity instability loop. And what they actually need, what you actually need, is this: a nervous system that feels safe holding more, a self-image that reflects the new standard, a baseline that no longer self-corrects to scarcity and struggle. So I know what you're thinking. How do we actually create this new baseline? Let's break it down very clearly and very practically. You don't hold a new baseline by force. You hold it through integration. And integration isn't a vibe, it's a sequence. So let's flesh this out more, because this is where theory turns into practice. This is how your identity is going to become stable. Step number 1, you need to normalize the new experience emotionally. The subconscious mind is always asking you, is this familiar enough to be safe? So if your recent expansion is still coded in your internal system as an anomaly, your subconscious is going to treat it like a one-time event. To create a new baseline, you need to turn the expansion into emotional normalcy. That means a couple of things. 1, reflecting daily on your new level, your new edge, as if it's already integrated. 2, logging your experiences of ease, overflow, and alignment. This is so your internal system starts tracking it as expected and not exceptional. And 3, literally speaking about your wins as if they've already happened again, because reinforcement is repetition, and that's what we need. A new baseline equals a familiar frequency. And the repetition is what creates those familiar experiences. This takes us to step number 2. Regulate whilst you are holding more. You don't rise into your next level. You don't push into your next edge by doing more. You rise by being able to contract emotionally. So when you feel the edge, when the nervous system flinches at having more money, more time, more freedom, you don't override it. You don't panic. You stay, you breathe, and you teach your body this. This is what it feels like to hold more. This is safe now. This isn't about perfection. It's about not abandoning the new self just because the old patterns start to get really, really loud. You are creating nervous system memory. So your body doesn't keep trying to fix the success by shrinking you. And now step number 3, build a new identity architecture. The final and most important piece, you must rebuild your identity to match your new results. Because if you're subconsciously identifying as the scrappy one, the underdog, the one that works harder than everyone else, the girl who's good at surviving but not thriving, you're always making ends meet, then no matter what you build, your internal system is going to glitch. So what can we do right now to update that identity? I want you to create an evidence bank for your new self. Screenshots, journal reflections, spoken reminders. Then I need you to speak as her, lead as her, make decisions as her, even when your system is telling you to revert back to your old patterns. And of course, you need to audit your internal language. Start to replace sentences like, I can't believe this is happening, to, of course this is happening. This is who I am now. Your identity is the motherboard. When it's upgraded, overflow becomes sustainable. When it's outdated, overflow becomes unstable. And how do we know when we're locked in to our new baseline? You no longer feel high from results. You feel anchored. You don't chase, you receive. You don't spiral when things are going slow. You stay steady. You stop looking for the next breakthrough and you start leading from integration. Remember this when you are pushing to your next edge. Remember this when you are pushing to your next edge. You don't rise by chasing peak moments. You rise by building an identity that sees the peak as your new floor. And it happens through safety, repetition, ritual, decision, and above all, embodiment. I've mentioned this story a couple of times in this training series, but I think it serves so many lessons that I can teach you. When I did quit my job and I moved to Bali and I began an online business, I had to do this work that not only have I taught you from the past 4 days, but especially what I am teaching you in this series today. I had to believe that I was an online business owner. I had to step into that persona. I had to let go of cycles and patterns that told me, no, you should have a boss. No, you should get a normal job. No, you should go back into what is safe, what society deems as safe. It's not about faking it till you make it. It's about teaching your nervous system, which creates your identity, that it is safe to hold the things that you desire. And this happens in the micro habits that you adopt every single day. When you start to own the new identity, you stop rehearsing the old story. I know that you've seen what's possible for you. I know that you've tasted the success. Now your job is to stay and to keep choosing it again and again. Becoming who you desire to be isn't a one-time activation. It is a daily decision. Every time you regulate instead of react, speak instead of shrink, lead instead of loop, you rewrite your future. This series was just the beginning. I want you to head to the description below and click the first link. This is what is going to stabilize your success, stabilize your next level identity. I teach women just like you how to hold and grow with the success they truly desire in their life. It's up to you if you want to join the women who are building those legacies. If this series cracked something open inside of you, binge it again. Each time that you rewatch, a new version of you hears it. Day 1 to day 5 was designed to rewire the architecture of your identity. The next edge isn't a finish line. It's a lifestyle. The series is not over. It is now yours to embody. Thank you for joining me for this training series. I'll see you in the next video.